8 hidden signs she's secretly in love with you. Old Stoic wisdom. Have you ever caught her gazing at you, only for her to quickly look away when your eyes meet? Or maybe she laughs a bit too enthusiastically at your jokes, or recalls details from conversations you've long since forgotten. You sense something, but the feeling is difficult to put into words. Here's the truth. When someone is concealing their feelings, they might not always express it directly. Yet, psychology reveals that the signs are often hidden in plain sight. As someone who has spent years studying emotional behavior and the intricacies of relationships, I can confidently tell you, if she's hiding her true emotions, her subconscious is often shouting louder than her words. In this video, we'll explore 9 subtle yet powerful signs, rooted in psychological research, that suggest she may be harboring deeper feelings for you than she lets on. And trust me, the 9th sign is the one most men overlook until it's too late. Let's begin, shall we? Sign number 1. She acts nervous around you. Picture this. You walk into a room and there she is. Suddenly, everything shifts. Her fingers begin to fidget, playing with the edges of something. Her hair is the focus of her hands, and her voice seems just a little higher than usual. Her laugh? Slightly awkward, as if it's forced out in a moment of tension. You might think this is just clumsy behavior, or perhaps a coincidence, but don't be fooled. It's much more than that. Psychologists call this physiological arousal, the body's natural response to emotional intensity. It's a primal reaction, a signal that something deeper is happening. When a person is emotionally invested, but trying desperately to conceal those feelings, the body betrays them. The Old Stoic mindset teaches that emotions, especially those buried deep within, cannot always be suppressed. While the mind may strive for composure and control, the body will often reveal the truth in ways that words never will. She might be doing everything she can to appear calm, but every small movement, the tapping of her foot, the way her breath catches when you're near, speaks volumes about what she's really feeling inside. This isn't just shyness. It's not simply a matter of her being uncomfortable. It's much more layered and complex. She's holding something back, something powerful, and the nervousness you're witnessing is a reflection of her inner turmoil. Why would she be nervous around you specifically? The answer lies in the intensity of the feelings she's trying so hard to keep under wraps. The Stoics taught us to control our emotions, but even they knew that true mastery came not from denial, but from understanding and transforming those emotions into wisdom. So when her hands start shaking, when she stumbles over her words, or when she blushes the moment your eyes meet, it's not just nerves. It's a heart desperately trying not to speak. The iron mind of a Stoic can silence the noise of the world, but it cannot shut down the power of the heart. What's happening here is more than a simple reaction to discomfort. It's a signal that her emotions are trying to rise to the surface. Every little interaction between you two becomes charged, full of meaning, even if she's trying to remain unaffected. The Stoic principle reminds us that there's value in understanding human nature and embracing the subtle cues of the body, which never lie. This is why you mustn't dismiss the nervousness as trivial. It's a sign, a clear one. The tension she's holding isn't just discomfort. It's a form of emotional communication that words cannot fully capture. This moment of vulnerability is a form of honesty. Even if she's not ready to speak her truth out loud, the body speaks for her, and if you're paying attention, it's telling you that there's more beneath the surface than meets the eye. The more you learn to recognize these small signals, the better you'll understand what's going on beneath the cool exterior. You can't ignore the messages the body is sending. You need to observe, to listen with more than just your ears. Take it all in. The nervous laugh, the shifting eyes, the slightly flushed cheeks. These aren't just signs of anxiety. They're signs of something much deeper. The Old Stoic teach us that we must remain vigilant, observe the world and those around us with clarity, for the body's actions are often the truest reflection of the mind. But you must also have the wisdom to interpret these signals. This is not the time to act hastily or to assume things based on surface-level observations. Instead, use this as a tool of understanding. Recognize that she's fighting against the pull of her own feelings, and while she may not be ready to confess them openly, her body is giving you all the clues you need. Don't dismiss it. Don't ignore it. Pay attention, because in those small moments, a larger truth is hiding in plain sight. Understand this. Nervousness isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of intensity. It's a heart trying to find balance between desire and restraint, emotion and logic. So, next time you see her fidgeting or acting out of character, don't just assume she's anxious in the traditional sense. Look deeper. Read the signs. The Old Stoic knew that beneath every outward expression, there is always an inner world at play. Sign number 2. She remembers the little things. This may seem like something small, even insignificant, but when you take a closer look, you'll realize it's a clear and profound indicator of her deeper feelings for you. It's not just about having a sharp memory. No, it's far more meaningful than that. You may have casually mentioned your favorite snack or a particular food you enjoy once, perhaps in the middle of an unrelated conversation, and then, weeks later, she shows up with it, seemingly out of nowhere. Or maybe you shared something personal, like a childhood nickname, something that seemed so trivial at the time that it slipped from your own memory, yet she brings it up in a way that shows she never forgot it. This is far more than just a good memory. It's a clear sign that she's paying attention to you in a way that most people simply don't. Psychologically, when we care deeply about someone, especially when we have romantic feelings for them, our brain shifts gears, prioritizing anything related to them. This is where the concept of selective attention comes in. It's a psychological process where our brain naturally filters out what it deems irrelevant, instead focusing intently on things that hold emotional significance. And what could be more emotionally significant than the small, intimate details of a relationship? The kind of things that others might overlook? When she remembers these small, almost forgettable details, your side comments, your subtle preferences, the random stories you shared, it's not because she's just listening, but because she's absorbing. She's not simply hearing the words you speak, she's internalizing them, making them a part of the fabric of how she sees you. And this matters. It speaks volumes. It tells you that you matter to her in a way that goes beyond the surface. In fact, when someone is truly in love, they start to prioritize every aspect of their partner's life, even the most insignificant details, because it all holds emotional weight. Your favorite snack, the way you like your coffee, the stories you share from your childhood, they aren't just things she remembers. They are pieces of who you are, and to her, that matters. In the world of romance, the truth is simple. People who love you don't just focus on grand gestures. They are moved by the subtleties. They care about the things that most others would disregard. The reason for this is grounded in how our brains are wired when we form emotional bonds. When we love, we give priority to the small things because they have emotional significance. These tiny details are what make a person unique, and when someone shows interest in these, it demonstrates a profound level of care and attention. Think about it for a second. How often do you hear people say that it's the little things that make a relationship last? That's not just an empty phrase. It's an important truth. It's a truth that draws from deep psychological principles and even ancient Stoic wisdom, where attention to the small, everyday aspects of life holds more weight than most realize. There's a certain beauty in this, in how something as simple as remembering a favorite snack or a childhood story can carry so much emotional depth. The rules of practical Stoicism teach us to value the simple, the meaningful, and to focus on the things that matter most, those that are often overlooked by others. In modern relationships, where distractions are constant, where technology pulls us in every direction, the ability to focus on the details, the ability to remember, becomes an extraordinary act of care and affection. She's showing you, without saying a word, that you matter to her, that you are worth her attention, and that she sees you, not just as a partner, but as a unique individual whose preferences, stories, and quirks are worth remembering. Now, think about this for a moment. In today's fast-paced, distraction-filled world, how rare is it for someone to genuinely pay attention to the little things? People are busy, and the tendency is to focus on the big events, the obvious signs of love. But in reality, it's the quieter, more subtle acts, the remembering of a small detail, the thoughtful gestures that make a real impact. This is where the timeless wisdom of practical Stoicism comes into play. The Stoic mindset, focused on discipline, respect, and emotional intelligence, teaches us that true strength lies in mastering ourselves and being present in the moment. It's about focusing on what truly matters, our relationships, our emotions, the details that define who we are. And when she remembers these details about you, it shows she's living by this very principle, paying attention to what truly matters, to the things that make you who you are. This is also a stark reminder that the modern world doesn't make it easy for people to remain focused on the things that really count. With constant distractions at every turn, it's easier than ever to let the small things slip through the cracks. But when she takes the time to remember these intimate, personal details about you, it's an indication that she is making a conscious effort to be present, to prioritize you in the midst of it all. This effort is a reflection of deep, emotional involvement, a love that is steadfast and sincere, one that adheres to the Stoic rules of valuing what truly matters. In a practical sense, this means she's showing her care through deliberate, meaningful actions. She's not just listening to respond. She's listening to understand, to connect, to demonstrate that you are important to her. And that's a powerful thing in a world where superficial connections are all too common. If someone can remember the smallest details about you, the snack you like, the way you tell a story, the things that make you laugh, it's not just a fleeting memory. It's a deep, emotional investment. You may wonder, how does this relate to you in your everyday life? Well, the answer is clear. If she's paying attention to the little things, you should too. It's a call to action for you to do the same in your own relationship. Don't just focus on the grand gestures, the special occasions. Pay attention to the details, the small moments that make your relationship unique. Remember, Stoic wisdom encourages us to be present, to be deliberate in our actions, and to focus on the things that truly matter. This is your reminder to prioritize the small things in your relationships, to show your partner that they matter to you in ways that are genuine and meaningful. In doing so, you'll build a stronger, deeper connection based on understanding, attention, and love that goes beyond the surface. Sign number 3, mixed signals and hot-cold behavior. You've experienced it, the emotional roller coaster. One day, she's all smiles, her laughter echoing in the air, texting you first, engaging with you fully. The connection feels genuine, alive, real. But then, just when you think you've unlocked the door, the warmth vanishes. The next day, you're met with a coldness, a chilling distance, as though she's withdrawn into herself. Silence. The communication becomes sparse, if not non-existent. Confusing, right? Frustrating? Absolutely. But here's the truth you need to understand. This behavior is far from random. When a woman is hiding deep, unspoken feelings, this push-pull dynamic is a sign of internal conflict, a war between desire and fear. It's not about playing games. It's not manipulation. What you are witnessing is the internal struggle she's navigating. Part of her desperately wants to be close to you. She wants to connect, share, experience the joy of vulnerability. But another part is terrified. Terrified of rejection, terrified of exposure, terrified of opening up and allowing herself to love freely. Psychologists have a term for this inner conflict. It's called approach avoidance conflict. Essentially, it's when someone's desire for connection collides head-on with their fear of the potential consequences. This creates a confusing dynamic. She'll initiate contact one moment, pouring herself into the conversation, only to abruptly pull away the next, as if something is holding her back. You might think it's a game, but understand this. It's a defense mechanism. The heart wants to move forward, while the mind erects barriers to protect her from potential harm. Now, why should this matter to you? Because if you're attuned to these signs, you can see beyond the surface-level confusion. You can recognize that this hot-cold behavior is not an emotional riddle, but rather a reflection of deep-rooted fears, an unspoken war between her heart's desire and her mind's self-preservation. You have to understand this dynamic if you're going to truly navigate the path of wisdom. As Epictetus, the great Stoic philosopher, said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." Apply that same principle here. By recognizing this internal battle, you will be better equipped to handle it. There's no rush. The slow, deliberate pace of Stoicism teaches us that rushing into emotional territory only leads to frustration. Patience. It is a virtue, not just of Stoics, but of anyone looking to master the intricate dance of human emotions. You see, Stoicism isn't just about accepting life's challenges, it's about mastering your reactions to those challenges. Don't act in haste. Don't be quick to label her actions as indifference or manipulation. Instead, step into the wisdom of emotional self-regulation. Be steady, be present, be the calm in the storm of mixed signals. This approach avoidance conflict is an old pattern, and it plays out in every relationship, from ancient history to modern life. Think of it as the emotional defense mechanism every human being has, unwilling to fully expose themselves because of the possibility of getting hurt. It's no different than an ancient warrior who hesitates before stepping onto the battlefield. The desire for victory is there, but so is the fear of failure. The key here is this: it is not your job to force the situation, to chase after her attention, or to try to decode every shift in her behavior. You must embody the principles of Stoicism, be the unmovable force in the face of emotional turbulence. While she may pull away, remember that this doesn't diminish the love or feelings she may have. It only means she is protecting herself. "He who is brave is free," said Seneca, and bravery here comes in the form of emotional resilience, not aggression. Your strength lies in your ability to remain composed, to see through the haze of confusion, and to give her the space to resolve her internal conflict on her own terms. In modern life, especially in the context of fast-paced dating or relationships shaped by technology and constant messaging, this pattern of hot-cold behavior can be magnified. But you must remember, emotions are not to be rushed. She is not a puzzle for you to solve quickly. She is a person, navigating her own set of fears and desires, just as you are. The emotional intelligence required to understand her signals, without succumbing to the temptation to label them as mere games, will set you apart. So what do you do now? How do you handle this? The answer is simple yet profound. You handle it with grace, patience, and wisdom. By doing so, you will see beyond the mixed signals and instead understand that what she's truly communicating is fear wrapped in love. Approach this with empathy, knowing that the best way to win someone's heart is not through impatience, but through calm persistence. Do not rush her to make decisions. Do not rush to interpret every mixed signal. Remember, real love doesn't thrive in haste. Stoicism teaches us that life unfolds at its own pace, and by respecting that pace, we can foster stronger connections. "Time is the most valuable thing a man can spend," said Theophrastus, and your time spent understanding her emotional needs will be more valuable than any rushed reaction. Be patient, be present, and watch as she slowly and steadily opens herself up to you. By the paths of wisdom, as taught by Stoics like Epictetus, you can master the art of understanding mixed signals. It is not about controlling her behavior. It is about controlling your own. You must embody the wisdom that comes from understanding, not interpreting, and from seeing beneath the surface to the heart of the matter. This isn't just a relationship. It's an opportunity for both of you to grow, to learn, and to move beyond fear. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. And in relationships, it is not about the desire for quick results. It is about the willingness to invest time and understanding into something real, something deep. You must embrace this. You must act with the resolve of a Stoic, with patience, control, and an unshakable belief that the best things in life require effort, and the right woman will reward that effort. Now, it's your turn. Take charge of your emotional journey. Recognize the signs, read between the lines, and apply the wisdom of the Stoics in your actions. Be unshaken by the hot-cold behavior and take the path of emotional mastery, as Epictetus would advise. The results will speak for themselves. Sign number 4. She subtly tries to impress you. It's not loud, not boastful, and definitely not the kind of attention-seeking behavior you might expect. No, she doesn't parade her achievements or crow about her successes, but if you pay close attention, you'll start noticing these small, almost imperceptible gestures that reveal her desire to leave an impression on you. Maybe she casually mentions the recent project she nailed at work, or the accomplishment she's particularly proud of, but she doesn't linger on it too long. Perhaps she speaks with a little more passion about the hobbies or activities she cares deeply about, lighting up when she talks about them in your presence. Maybe, just maybe, you observe that she puts a little more thought into how she looks, adjusting her outfit, or spending a bit more time on her appearance when she knows you'll be around. It's easy to miss these subtle changes, but they're not mere coincidences. They're psychological signals at play. This is impression management in action, a fundamental part of human psychology. As the old Stoic principles would remind us, we all engage in quiet attempts to shape how others perceive us, especially those we hold in high regard. It's not always about expressing our feelings verbally. Sometimes it's about conveying them through action, through subtle cues. She might not outright confess her emotions, but that doesn't mean she doesn't want to be noticed, admired, or appreciated. Beneath her calm demeanour, there's a quiet hope that you will see her for who she truly is, without her having to say a word. She wants you to recognise her strengths, to acknowledge the depth of her character, and to see the best version of herself that she carefully cultivates and nurtures. It's not about showing off. It's about ensuring that when you look at her, you see someone worthy of admiration, someone who has put thought and effort into how she presents herself, hoping you'll notice. In the quietest moments, she might reveal her vulnerabilities, but this is where her Stoic wisdom comes into play. The Stoics knew that mastery over one's emotions and actions was the path to true strength. They taught us that it's not about seeking approval or accolades, but about being at peace with ourselves and allowing others to see that calm strength. Her actions, though subtle, speak volumes about her own self-discipline. Her iron mind drives her to maintain a certain composure, to be graceful, to be noticed not through boastful words, but through quiet confidence. There's a power in this restraint, a kind of strength that is often far more compelling than any loud declaration of affection. And yet, it's easy to misunderstand these signals. In a world that thrives on instant gratification and constant noise, it's easy to overlook the small, quiet ways people try to connect with us. But if you pause, if you truly observe her actions, you'll realize that these are the unspoken ways in which she expresses her feelings. It's a dance between vulnerability and strength, where she holds back just enough to give you the chance to truly see her. This is not a game. This is someone who values your opinion more than they may be ready to admit. Someone who wants you to notice her, not for validation, but because your opinion has weight. Her actions are grounded in Stoic wisdom. Like the ancient Stoics, she knows the value of inner peace, of maintaining composure. And yet, she still yearns for connection. The iron mind, the Stoic principles of emotional discipline, drive her to subtly reveal who she is, and it's up to you to be attentive enough to see it. You don't need to rush into declaring your feelings or pushing her to speak hers. Instead, take the time to recognize these quiet gestures for what they are, signals of deeper affection and interest that go beyond words. You might think that she doesn't want attention, that she's simply being modest, but what's really happening is far more intricate. She's balancing between desire and restraint, letting her actions speak for her in ways words never could. If you fail to notice these small gestures, you might miss the opportunity to connect on a deeper level with someone who is quietly showing you that she cares. And the old Stoics would remind us, true wisdom is in seeing beyond the surface, in understanding that strength is often shown in the quietest, most unexpected ways. So, next time you're around her, Take a moment to notice the subtleties, the way she mentions her achievements without making it the center of attention, the way she speaks with passion about the things she loves, or the extra care she takes with her appearance. These are not just random actions, they are signs that she's secretly in love with you. Recognizing these moments is not about making grand gestures, but about seeing the depth of her character. If you do notice these signs, take the time to appreciate them, because it's not just about the here and now, it's about understanding that love, in its most stoic form, is often expressed through the quietest acts. Sign number 5. She's curious about your love life, but pretends not to be. At first glance, it might seem like a harmless question when she asks, "So, are you seeing anyone these days?" But look closely, and you'll notice the subtle signs of a deeper, more complex emotion at play. Maybe she never asks directly, but when another woman's name comes up, her tone shifts, or there's a sudden or awkward silence. She might quickly change the subject, almost as if she's trying to convince herself that she doesn't care. Don't be fooled by this feigned indifference. What you're witnessing is jealousy in its quietest form, carefully concealed beneath a mask of casual curiosity. As a man who understands the power of practical stoicism, you need to recognize that jealousy doesn't always make a loud entrance. Sometimes it enters your life like a shadow, quietly creeping in, without fanfare or drama, but its presence is undeniable. These small, seemingly insignificant moments reveal much more than she might intend. This is a clear sign that her emotions are invested in you, even if she hasn't been able to admit it yet. Her interest in your romantic life isn't just about wanting to know who you're seeing, it's about wanting to ensure that your heart isn't already claimed by someone else before she has the courage to express her own feelings. It's a form of emotional territoriality, a primitive instinct that arises when someone senses a connection but is too afraid to act on it, unsure of how to reveal her vulnerability. In truth, this behavior is not just about simple curiosity, it's about self-preservation. If you pay attention to these subtle signals, you'll realize that much like the Stoic rules that guide wise men to master their emotions, she is carefully testing the waters, trying to figure out where she stands without directly confronting her fears, the fear of rejection, the fear of missing out, the fear that someone else might step in before she has the chance to speak up. So, when you catch these moments of casual questioning, understand that they carry weight. It's a silent plea for reassurance, and beneath her casual exterior lies a deep desire to understand your heart's true intentions. In today's world, it can be easy to dismiss these signs, thinking they're just idle chatter. But remember, Stoicism teaches us to stay aware of subtle shifts in behavior and to interpret them with clarity and wisdom. You must acknowledge these cues and navigate the situation with the careful attention they deserve. After all, a man who knows the rules of practical Stoicism understands that the most meaningful connections often begin with these quiet, unspoken moments. Don't let them pass by unnoticed. Sign number 6. She opens up about deep personal things. Pay close attention when she starts to tell you stories from her childhood, reveals past wounds that still sting, shares dreams she's too afraid to chase, or talks about the fears she has never revealed to anyone else. This is not just idle conversation. This is a significant shift, and the small talk is gone. What you're witnessing now is vulnerability at its core, and most men fail to recognize this for what it truly is, a powerful signal that she is allowing you to see her at her most fragile, her most authentic. Too many men miss this because they are caught up in the moment, focusing only on the surface. But you must understand, when a woman opens up like this, it's not about the words, it's about trust. Psychologists call this emotional self-disclosure, and it's one of the deepest and most intimate forms of connection. Sharing these private, personal details isn't just casual conversation. It's a deliberate act of letting you in. And let's be clear here, people don't open themselves up like this unless they feel completely safe. Women, in particular, are cautious about who they trust with their inner world. So, When she chooses you to share her most vulnerable thoughts, her rawest fears, her deepest regrets, it's not by accident. It's a clear message she's sending, even if unspoken. You matter to me more than you probably realize. She's revealing her inner self to you because, in that moment, she trusts you. She trusts that you won't judge her, that you'll handle her heart with care, and that trust is a rare gift that not many men are fortunate enough to receive. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus, in his teachings, reminded us that wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. And just as he taught that true wealth lies in appreciating what is real and sincere, in relationships, true wealth is found in the genuine connections we foster. When a woman shares her emotional truths with you, she's not just giving you access to her past or her fears, she's entrusting you with a part of her soul. It's the very essence of intimacy, revealing what is most precious and fragile inside of you. To give someone that access is not a small thing. It requires confidence, it requires trust, and above all, it requires a man who is willing to honour that trust with the utmost respect. In today's world, where distractions abound and shallow interactions are the norm, many men fail to recognise this moment for what it is. They think they can simply hear these confessions and move on, or worse, take them lightly. But this is where the paths of wisdom, as the Stoics so often taught, become invaluable. The Stoic principles, those of patience, understanding, and emotional control, are essential when navigating this type of moment. She's showing you her true self, and if you miss it, if you fail to understand the gravity of what she's sharing, you risk losing her. Not because she wants you to chase her, but because she's looking for a man who values her vulnerability, who will treat it with the seriousness and reverence it deserves. So, what is the message here for you, a man walking the path of wisdom? You must recognize that these moments, these openings into a woman's heart, are not trivial. They are profound opportunities for connection and for building something real, something lasting. If you choose to ignore or dismiss these moments, you miss out on the rarest of gifts, a woman who feels safe enough with you to open up her deepest thoughts and feelings. In the words of Epictetus, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. How you react to her vulnerability will shape the relationship, and ultimately, your life. Now, in modern life, this is crucial. With all the distractions of technology, work, and the pressures of the world around us, real emotional connections have become harder to find. But when she opens up, don't take it for granted. Don't just nod and move on. This is your opportunity to prove that you're a man who understands the weight of trust, a man who walks the path of wisdom and stoicism with strength and clarity. If she lets you in, if she gives you this trust, you must protect it, nurture it, and honour it with every fibre of your being. The relationship that follows will be built on something solid, something lasting. It won't just be another fleeting connection. It will be something much deeper. Remember, this isn't a small thing. This is the beginning of something significant. A woman's vulnerability is a sacred trust, and if you recognise it, you've already set yourself on the path to winning in love. The power to build something enduring in a world that often values the temporary and the superficial lies in your ability to honour these moments. So I ask you, are you ready to walk that path? Are you ready to act with the wisdom, clarity, and strength of the Stoics? Don't let these opportunities slip away. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're ready to be a man who recognises the power of vulnerability and uses it to build something real. What's your next move? Drop a comment below with your thoughts, because this is your chance to take charge, to lead with wisdom, and to create a lasting impact. Sign number 7. She mirrors you unconsciously. Picture this. You lean forward in conversation, and she instinctively mirrors your gesture. You cross your arms, and moments later, she follows suit. This is not simple mimicry, but rather a phenomenon known as mirroring. And it's one of the most revealing signs of emotional connection that often goes unnoticed. It is rooted in something called limbic synchrony, a psychological term for when two individuals subconsciously align their body language, tone, or energy with one another. It happens not out of deliberate imitation, but because her brain is emotionally attuned to yours. The way she unconsciously mirrors you is a powerful message her body sends without words. I feel close to you. I feel safe with you. I'm with you. In the world of practical Stoicism, we understand that emotions are often expressed in subtle ways, and this is an excellent example of how body language communicates more than words ever could. Just as the ancient Stoics emphasized the power of observation, recognizing how people interact nonverbally can reveal the depth of their feelings. This mirroring is hardly ever intentional. In fact, she may not even realize it. But if you pay attention, you'll notice that your presence impacts her more than she's willing to show. Her body is attempting to align with yours as a means of creating harmony, a subconscious way of establishing a connection that transcends words. In relationships, the Stoic rule of staying aware of how emotions manifest physically is crucial, as we often overlook the power of nonverbal cues. So, when she mirrors your actions and words without any conscious effort, it could be because her feelings are running deeper than she allows herself to admit, revealing that her emotional investment in you may be far greater than she is willing to express. You must pay attention to these moments. They are the quiet signals of a deeper bond that might be waiting to be explored. The Stoic principles teach us that we should understand the significance of silence, of gestures, of the small things we often ignore. They speak volumes. So, when you see her mirror you, know this. It's not just chance or coincidence. Her mind, body, and soul are subconsciously telling you something profound. Sign number 8. She makes time for you even when it's inconvenient. Despite her exhaustion, she still replies to your messages. Even with a packed schedule, she finds a way to carve out time for you. In today's fast-paced world, where everyone is constantly busy, this effort becomes one of the clearest signals of affection. According to the Stoic rules of life, prioritization is a reflection of one's true values. Psychologically, when someone chooses to rearrange their entire day, or even sacrifice their comfort just to make space for you, it speaks volumes. This isn't about showing off. This is about making you a priority. And when emotions are hidden, when she's not being overt about her feelings, this gesture becomes even more significant. She's not doing it for the recognition or the praise. She's doing it because, deep down, you matter to her more than you might realize. This kind of quiet devotion is powerful and cannot be faked. She's putting in the effort not for convenience, but because she genuinely cares. Think about it. Does she show up for you when she doesn't have to? Does she give you her time, her attention, and her energy, even when there's no immediate benefit for her? This is not a mere act of convenience, but rather a profound display of loyalty and affection. And in these moments, actions often speak louder than words. The Stoic approach to relationships teaches us that true love is not loud or grandiose. It's steady, it's constant, and it's often subtle. You have to see beyond the surface. It's not about the attention she gives you when things are easy or when the situation is ideal. It's about the way she shows up even when it's hard, even when it requires sacrifice. That's how you know. Modern life can distract us from the deeper truths, but if you're paying attention, you'll recognize that this quiet devotion is often the clearest sign of love. So don't overlook these small yet powerful acts of care. They are the true markers of affection. Remember, the practical Stoicism we follow in life tells us that it's often the simplest gestures, the ones that ask for nothing in return, that hold the most meaning. Don't dismiss this, because the heart speaks in subtle ways. If she's prioritizing you when it's inconvenient, you have to recognize the deep truth in that gesture. The Stoic wisdom here is clear. Love is not about the grand gestures. It's about the small sacrifices, the quiet moments, and the true devotion behind them. And there you have it, 9 hidden signs that could indicate she's secretly in love with you, backed by timeless Stoic wisdom. I hope you found this video valuable. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, share it with friends, and subscribe for more insights like this. I'd love to hear what you think. If you have any thoughts, questions, or feedback, don't hesitate to drop a comment below. Let's keep the conversation going. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the answers you seek are simpler than you think.